All right, it is Wednesday. It is noonish. This is The Life. I'm your host, Don Smith. Welcome to the show. Every week we come on here and we bring some entertaining people to try to entertain you. And I'm told that today our delay button is broken, so no cussing.
We have to be so careful.
You have to be real careful about that cussing, and you have to get closer to that mic too, because that doesn't. Those mics are they're kind of not sensitive enough until you get right up on them. Then I make an adjustment and you blast everybody's eardrums out, because that's the way it works.
That's the way it is on the show. To be honest with you, I am the big problem on the show when it comes to a mic.
Okay. Well, and here you are.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and introduce you, and then I'll find some things to talk about before we actually get rolling. But I'll introduce you since you're talking already.
Thank you.
We have Barry and Kathy Leggett.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, I pronounced it right. Did I?
Yep, that's
okay,
it.
Good. I thought so. I was going to say legit, but
I've heard that before.
That
too.
didn't seem right. You are from DATV's Dayton's Music Scene.
Yes, we are.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. First of all, I want to welcome everybody back to Wright State, where you pay $90 a semester to park and then waste $10 in gas every day driving around trying to find a spot. This is the life we live. See, and I only have to deal with this one day a week for this radio show. All my classes are online, but it's bad out there. It's like a little racetrack. Everybody's just going around and around and around in circles waiting for somebody. They're playing musical parking spaces, and that's the way it's always been here.
It took us a while to even find you.
Yeah,
this is a big place, isn't it?
I've been trying to find myself for years. But it's going to be a long day for me. I have a feeling, because I had to get up. Of course, I work second shift. I didn't get home till about 12:30 last night. I had to get up and have my wife downtown to work at 8:00 this morning, and because she doesn't drive at night because of if you're ever considering LASIK surgery, don't.
She had it.
She had LASIK surgery, and it's been 10 years ago, and her eyes are finally recovering enough to where she is able to drive now.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
She was pretty much completely blind in her left eye. There was a point they were telling her that she should start learning Braille.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah.
That's awful.
So I had to get up early this morning, take her to work, because she has class here tonight. So she can, after she gets off work downtown, she can take the wonderful, wonderful RTA over to Wright State, which RTA is kind of like a party bus. You just got to watch out whose needle you're stepping on.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, she has to get over here, and she has class late, so I have to pick her up after I get off work at 11:00 tonight. And it's gonna be a long day.
Oh, my gosh, that's a lot to work with, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just I'm tired already, and it's not even. It's just now noon. Or just shortly after noon.
Yes.
And you're on The Life on 106.9. Actually, also proud to announce that the Life radio show, the podcast version, is now part of EVENTIDE Entertainment's podcast network. So be sure to check them out with some other great podcasts on there, including Mike Talks Funny with Mike Shea, who was on the show last week. So we can now officially move on to you guys and Dayton's Music Scene. So how long have you been doing the show at DATV there? See, nobody wants to talk.
I do. I always want to talk.
Okay, well, you're on the radio.
You can't stop me most of the time. We've been about a year now. October of last year was when we first put the show together. And, November 1st will really be about our anniversary.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of planning we've been working on an anniversary show that we can pull together to celebrate our anniversary.
Awesome.
So 1 year.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. It's going well. I mean, I see you got a lot of different bands you've had on over. How often do you do the show? Is it monthly or weekly or
it's
whenever?
We record once a month in studio, and then sometimes we'll go out in the field and record. So it just depends on. It's at least once a month that the show's on, but it's on every week.
Oh, okay.
On
so
TV.
They just show it until you get the next one ready.
Right.
That's
yes,
good.
our show runs on DATV and CATV, and DATV is channel 5, 6, and 23. It covers more than northern areas, like center of Dayton, northern, and then CATV is more the southern areas. So we've expanded to that about 6 months ago.
I didn't know there was a CATV.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is.
It's like the Miami Valley Cable Council.
Oh, okay. Somebody's dinging.
That was me, and I said I turned my
That's
phone
okay.
off.
We always get dingy. And yeah, I heard you tell him to turn his phone
Right,
off. But
right.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't listen, did I?
That's how it
okay.
is all the time.
But yeah, I didn't know there was a CATV,
Mhm.
just the DA, and that's channel 991 in the southern community.
Right. It's on
Okay.
Spectrum.
Spectrum, yeah, Spectrum.
Time
Yeah.
Warner
I mean, they're
Spectrum.
fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
Actually, I will say their internet service is fantastic.
I
It
will
really
agree with
is.
you because we recently changed, and our internet really stinks now.
Who did you change to?
Can I say?
Hey, I don't.
We switched to AT&T.
This is a review, so yeah.
we
this
switched
is
to DirecTV and AT&T.
Oh, okay.
The DirecTV is awesome. I love that, but the internet really is not good. So, my recommendation to anyone out there: don't go to AT&T for internet because it's really slow.
A lot of those because I was on who's the whoever they are now that used to be Frontier now. I think I was with them and internet was absolutely horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I switched over because I had Frontier for my phone and internet, and I had Dish Network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dish Network for my TV, which I was always happy with Dish Network. Absolutely was. And because years ago, I mean, I had Dish Network for about 8 or 10 years, and the only reason I got rid of them is when I switched over to Time Warner, which is now Spectrum. I got a good deal to do the whole package. And I don't really watch TV, so their TV, I just got the absolute minimum that I could get.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say the internet is fantastic.
It really
For
is.
them.
It really is.
And one of the benefits that I got is they had to replace because my house never actually had cable ran to it. So they had when they say free installation, they were a little disappointed when they got there and actually had to install. And the bad thing was they got everything hooked up and they still couldn't get a signal. So they had to replace a whole bunch of other stuff, including the switch out at the pole, which is now brand new. And I am the only I'm the only house that's off of that branch. So I have 100% fantastic signal coming from them. So I really can't.
You can't complain
I really
at all,
can't complain
can you?
about them too much. But it's handy having the faster internet because I watch a lot of. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I do watch a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I love Netflix. Anyway, back to you guys because
Okay.
that's why we're here. We go off on a tangent
That's
every now and then
okay.
and just talk about
That's
whatever
what I
comes
do,
up.
don't I?
Well, you're in good company then. So you do say you go out and you record out in the field. You record the bands actually playing and then
Right.
interview them, or
Mm-hmm. Right.
okay. Who? What are some of your favorites that you've
Oh.
seen?
We said we were going to do favorites.
Okay. Well,
But I'll tell
you
you,
don't have to.
I don't really have favorites.
They're all
but
good.
there are some really good ones, and I'm going to tell you
Are
about
there
a
some
few
really
of them.
bad ones? No.
No,
we'll start with
there
the
are
good
no
ones.
bad ones. None. I have to throw it out there because they are my favorite of all favorites, and that's the Typical Johnsons.
You were
They
talking about
are
them,
so good. I have their shirt on today, actually.
Oh, okay.
And they are so good. I'm surprised that they're not national already. I
Really?
really am. They are that good, at least in my opinion.
Now, what type of music?
They're Americana. Do you know what Americana is?
I don't.
You know, it's really interesting. I found out a lot since we started doing the show as far as genres. And Americana, oh, honey, how would you describe it? It's more like a mixture of
bluegrass.
It's got some.
rock.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Americana's
okay.
a little bit of everything.
Oh, yeah, it's the melting pot. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
and a lot of bands are going under the Americana label now. I mean, they really are. It's amazing. But there's Americana, and that's where they fall. There's a couple other bands that we've seen recently that fall within that genre too, which are really good. Another band out there that's really, really good is Crunktown Boogie. And
Well,
they're
that sounds
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
They are fun. You know, they
It's a fun
really
band,
are
yeah.
fun to watch. They have so much energy. It's unbelievable, and their sound is just awesome. They can there's 3 guitar players, 1 bass, 2 lead guitar, and they can play separately so easily within the song. And you can see that the talent that they have is extraordinary. It really is. And so if you ever get a chance to get out and see them, they're a good band to see too.
I don't get out much. But,
no, you don't, do
but
you?
I will definitely have to look some of them up. I'm assuming some of them have websites and CDs
they all
out
do.
there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to definitely check some of them out.
They're all on Facebook.
Yeah. Seth
Twitter.
Cannon and the Carriers is another really good
that's
one.
my favorite.
Now, the ones we're talking about right now are all original music. They write their own music. You know, then we talk cover bands, which, oh my gosh, there's so many awesome cover bands out there. We talked about Shadow Life a little bit.
Right.
You know, Shadow Life just finished, and they were in the finals in a big playoff down in Cincinnati.
Wow.
Medal of the Bands, and they made the finals on that. So
awesome.
That was pretty awesome. And they get around. Oh my gosh, I see them everywhere all the time, and we had them on the show as well. So we really like them. Short of Stable is was our first band we did. Our very first show was Short of Stable, so I have to favor them a little bit.
Well, yeah,
right?
they got you started.
First. Yeah,
that was your kickoff.
That really was. So yeah, check it out. There's a lot of great music out there. Tremendous amount.
Absolutely, a lot of great local music.
Right.
I play when I play music on my show. I try to keep it local. I only have a few bands that I have permission to play, so. Since it goes out, I try to keep everything to where I have their permission to play in case it gets like we just got absorbed into Eventide Entertainment, and they kind of want to make sure we have permission for what we use. Because Potter's Field, I had mentioned, I use his music for the opening and the closings of the show, and I always play him in the middle because I've known him for years.
Absolutely.
I used to pick on him in junior high.
Oh, that's cool.
And we were actually in a band together in high school.
Oh, that's cool. What do you play?
Nothing at all.
Do you sing?
I've tried to play a little bit of everything. I play nothing at all very well, and I don't don't sing very well anymore. But it was heavy metal, so I just,
you
it was
got
heavy
up there
metal.
And hit it,
I'm a metalhead. I mean, I like a lot of different kinds of music, and I'm definitely going to look into these because I enjoy a lot of different stuff.
Well, you're welcome to come to our taping on the 14th of October. That's Metal Month for us, and we have 2 metal bands coming in that day.
That's going to be at the Courtyard.
Actually, no, this is going to be in the studio.
Oh, okay.
On the 14th. They may be out there in the Courtyard at that point.
Yeah, that's Saturday the 14th.
That's
the Dayton Underground series.
Oh, that's us. Yeah, Dayton Underground series, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
We'll be at the Courtyard for sure.
But we'll be in the studio.
But you'll be in the studio earlier.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We're kind of busy, too.
Yeah,
we
I can
stay
see
pretty busy. The wee hours of the morning is what gets us. I am not a wee hours of the morning girl anymore.
Yeah, I have no choice, but I am a wee hours of the morning kind of girl.
Are you?
I don't have. Sometimes I just don't have a choice.
That's great. Speaking of the Underground series, you want to talk about that a little bit?
We can plug that a little bit.
Go right ahead.
It's a great show. Shows. By
now
Kimberly.
these are live shows that your
They're
show
out.
sponsors.
Right.
Yes,
right,
we're a sponsor of the Dayton Underground series. One of the sponsors.
Kimberly Weiss she's the promoter. She promotes the Dayton Underground series, and it's 6-7 shows, and they're all different genres. Each show is different genres, and there's 3 bands at each show, and then at the end of the series, which is in December, there's like a finale. And
it's just a big party.
And
it's
then
a big party.
Then one band is named, the Dayton Underground series winner.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Even
pretty
though
cool.
there's not really a winner, it's just an acknowledgement
They're
at the
all
end of the
winners.
year.
Right,
Everybody's a
yeah.
winner. Yeah. So, but it is a great thing. It spotlights local talent, and that's what we're all about. That's the reason we started Dayton Music Scene, is because we felt there's so much talent in the Dayton area, and anybody that can try to help get that talent out there, it really, really, really helps the artists that are out there.
Absolutely.
So that's our goal. That is our whole mission statement, is that we are there to help the local bands. We're there to try to give them as much exposure as we possibly can.
Cool. And they need that,
Right,
because they got to get out there.
That's
right.
right.
And that's one of the hardest things to get is exposure.
And there's so many of them.
Yeah.
That it's a tough competition out there to get your name out and about.
And you wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal because of YouTube and everybody can put their own stuff on the internet. But it is a big deal to the bands that come in and do the show. I mean, they love it. They're excited about it. And And that just makes us more excited about doing it also.
And the thing that's really cool, especially when they come into the studio, we do our best to make that as professional as we can possibly make it. And so when it's all done, the band that was there actually gets a copy of the show. And they're free to do what they want with that. If they want to cut it up, and do different clips, whatever they want to do. But they get a nice, crisp, clean copy of the show. And sometimes, for some of the bands, that's the first time they've ever been recorded.
Yeah,
as far as TV is concerned. And so it's awesome for them. They love it.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what's been fun about this show is a lot of times they'll have newer comics come on. It's the first time they've been on the radio.
Right.
And it's neat. It's exciting. As
really is.
I remember when it was my first time coming on the radio. I was excited.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's fun to be able to help people get that little bit of exposure.
Right. So,
yeah.
It really is. It really
and
is.
It's fun. It's fun. It's just to meet these musicians is so cool because they are the coolest people around. I mean,
seriously, they are.
Yeah.
They've all got a story.
What about stand-up comics?
Well, they're cool too.
I guess they're cool too. If you have to say that, well, they're cool too.
Okay, thanks. I feel better now.
No, they really are. We've learned a lot. We have learned a lot in the past year. We really have. Each band seems to have their own. They all have their own story, and their stories are so touching. Most of them. I mean, everyone I've talked to, their stories are just so touching. Good Night is another band. They are. What are they? They're not. What's their genre? Good Night. Why am I going brain dead?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, anyway, she has the most beautiful melancholy voice. It's so emotional. It feels so emotional, and the band plays so well with her. The keyboards, Todd Herbert is on the keyboards, and what he plays is just magical. And then you hear
angelic.
It's angelic. Wow. It's very angelic. And then you hear the stories, and basically a quick overview is that their whole mission is because they've all lost someone close to them, very special, have passed on. And that's their mission, is to carry that music forward to honor those people. And I think that's such an awesome story. In every one, we get a different story. It's just touching.
Well, I got to say, that's a lot better than the stories I get from comics of why they're starting. A lot of friends said I was funny, so I went to an open mic.
Are you going to be anywhere? Are you going to be open mic anytime?
I don't have anything planned. The next show that I actually have planned is the Late Comics Tribute, which is something that is done every year, usually run by Dale Blumquist, one of the local comics that runs a lot of shows. He'll do it's a Dead Comics tribute show because a lot of our comics left us too early, and it's a Halloween thing where we dress up, we do some of their material. Cool. I get to be I don't know if you've ever seen John Belushi doing Joe Cocker.
Yes.
So I actually get to sing at Wiley's. I get to sing Joe Cocker as John Belushi.
Oh,
so,
wow.
That's awesome.
That'd be cool.
So I think part of the joke is I'm only going to pretend to be dead comedians who pretend to be dead musicians, and the next one I'm going to do is Andy Kaufman being Elvis. So, but yeah, that's the next thing I actually have planned. I do need to get back on stage soon.
We're going to have to come out and see you.
Because my last time on stage was at Cat's Lounge, and it was a Cat's Lounge comedy show, which can be fun, but usually it's mostly comics in the audience, and they usually don't laugh at other comics because they're just...
It's just not that funny to them, is it?
No, well, I think... Well, the only time comics laugh at other comics' materials is when we're bombing. They will be in hysterics when you're doing poorly because, I mean, we're all just, I think, terrible people.
Makes them look better, huh?
That'd be like a band off stage listening to another band and booing the whole time.
Yeah, that would be horrible. That would be really horrible. That is one thing I will say about these bands, too, is when they come for the Dayton Underground series and they're one of the three bands, they stay the whole time. They root those other bands on.
They support
they support each other so much. It's remarkable. It really is.
Most of the comics do that too.
Yeah.
We just like to joke with each other on that
Yeah,
because
okay.
sometimes it is kind of amusing to watch somebody just do terribly because we've all been there. We all know how it feels to go up there and get nothing. And
I bet.
so it's
how
it's
many
a camaraderie.
years has it been?
I've been about 3.5 years.
Wow.
I've been doing stand-up.
So you should have a lot of material soaked up in that head of yours.
I don't know where it all is. It's there somewhere. It's hard to get it all back at once.
Yes.
Especially since I'm rusty. I'm rusty. When I went up at Cats, I was very rusty because I hadn't been on stage in about 4 months.
Yeah.
Because
And
it's
you've
been a busy
years.
year. Because I've got a lot of film projects I've been working on. I have actually. I think Straight Outta Hate's no longer in Redbox, but 6 Feet Below Hell is still in Redbox.
Oh, we're familiar with that. How are you familiar with that?
I'm in it.
You're in it.
I'm
We
in
were
it.
almost in it.
You were almost
We
in
were
it.
too busy. We just couldn't get there.
Well, wow.
Yeah, so we
was-
have a connection, don't we?
Yeah, there you go. I was Reggie. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We tried to get it.
It's always out.
It's
of the
always
red
out.
box up by where I live.
You can go to redbox.com and you can look it up on there and you can see what Redbox it's in.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
you can
that.
pick it up at one to drop it back off at another one and spread
did
it
you
around
have
some
fun?
more. I had a blast.
See, I
That's
wanna
my
do it.
third movie with William.
Yeah.
And, third one on Redbox. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
We really were into it. We were so close to being able to go do it, and then something happened. We couldn't. But the next one, he's got another one coming out soon.
Yeah.
He's
He's
gonna
going to
start working on, right?
another one, yeah.
What's the name of that one? Do you know?
I believe that was Black Mamba, I think.
I'm not sure. We need to get involved because
Oh, yeah,
that would be
absolutely.
fun. We should go down there and
Yeah.
do it this time.
He's
down there
he's
is.
great to work with.
Is he?
He really is.
He can come
he's
across pretty strong on
he
Facebook.
can. He definitely can. He is. But he is. I mean, when he gets to know you and he trusts you, you got a friend for life.
See, and
You
that's
know,
the
but
whole
he's-
thing. He's had so many people, I'm sure, cycle through.
He's been doing it for 40 years, and he's
Yeah.
had so many people just trash him, and so many people just, and he, after 40 years, he's kind of to the point.
Yeah,
But once you get in, I mean, like I said, you got a friend for life. He's
Wow.
a really great guy, and he's easy to work with.
That's awesome.
So
Are you doing the next one then? Did you
I
say?
hope so. I hope so.
we are too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to connect because that'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you'll have to get out and see 6 Feet Below Hell.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been wanting to get to see that one for sure.
Now, what did you do in that one again?
I was Reggie.
You were Reggie.
I was
Okay.
Reggie. You will get to see me going at people with a croquet mallet.
Okay, good.
The zombie killer.
Well, no, Reggie never kills a single zombie,
Really?
but he beats the crap out of some people.
That's awesome. I bet you did have fun, didn't you?
I did. Well, the fun thing is, I know I've told this story on the radio before, but it's a fun story. I was not supposed to be Reggie.
Oh,
The day before shooting, the person that was playing
I
Reggie
remember
backed
that.
out.
yes.
So my character, I wasn't due on set for another 3 weeks. So I said, I'll step in as him. You can, fill my spot at your leisure rather than have to try to rewrite and scramble to get everything done. So we got, okay, that's fine. So we got down there and we lost our location.
Oh, no.
We were supposed to film at the Thompson house. Well, the guy that was supposed to let us in down in Newport, the guy that was supposed to let us in, didn't let us in. He wasn't there. Something happened. He couldn't
no.
show up. So we had to scramble, and about 2 hours later, we found a new location. The problem was the script we had was kind of written for that location.
Right.
So my entire first scene, we ad-libbed
You
almost the
improvised,
whole
didn't you?
thing. And we had so much
But
fun.
that's the funnest time because you can be your character, and you don't have to go by what was laid out for you. You can do what you want.
Right, and I had a blast doing that. And
Yeah.
Reggie was a lot of fun to play.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to tell you too much
No, don't
because I
give me too
will
much. I wanna
say
see it.
Reggie. Well, I'm not going
We're
to tell
gonna
you.
find
You
it.
have to watch it because
We're gonna find it. We'll find it today. I really want
Yeah.
to watch it. I really want to watch it. Then we can carpool.
we had so much. We had so much fun with Reggie ad-libbing that extra scenes were added.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
some of them
good.
had to be taken out, but
See, that's
because
my
of
problem.
time, because it's an hour and 59 minutes.
Wow.
Because Redbox wanted it under 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
but William was trying to push for a sequel.
Gotcha.
So we recorded a lot. But in fact, there was one whole Saturday I spent in a park down in northern Kentucky, running up and down in the mud, I almost broke my toe, and
Oh my gosh.
falling all over the place, being chased by zombies, and none of that made it into the footage.
Oh, that stinks.
But it happens.
Yes,
That's
it
the
does.
beauty of, and the fun of independent film.
That's right. That's the fun of doing our show too, because I fly by the seat of my pants most of the time.
That's what we do here.
Yeah,
We have very little planned.
Yeah.
But I do have to do something that's planned. We have to go through the comedy rundown of what's going on this week in local comedy, and then I'm going to play some Potter's Field for you. So
Great.
Then I'll get you his information. You can contact him and see about getting him on your show.
Okay, great.
Because I know it's not Potter's Field anymore. He's now with Black Revenant, but they were doing some shows not too long ago that unfortunately I didn't get to go to.
Oh.
But I'll get out there eventually. All right. All right. On that note, we're going to go ahead and take a break. I'm going to play a little Potter's Field, and we will be back here shortly.
Are you into making music, videos, or podcasts? Are you a local comedic talent in need of some much-needed publicity? Are you a behind-the-scenes professional interested in audio-video production, graphic design, and public relations? Eventide Entertainment is actively seeking talents, clients, and professionals to help our business grow into something truly special. And we want you to be one of those. For more information, go to facebook.com/Eventide Entertainment or send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com.
Coming this summer, when biological warfare threatens extinction, the world needs a hero.
Inside this bag is the cure for the zombie virus. Ta-da! I'm going to save the world. How about you?
William Lee is Zachariah Stone in Cinema Lexicon's 6 Feet Below Hell.
Your kind is doomed, human.
That is one ugly mother. It wasn't so bad. Really?
Starring William Lee, William Regglesworth, Banza Townsend, and Aaron Perez. 6 Feet Below Hell. Available in Redbox this summer.
If you see someone that you know is dead and then come back to life, run!
All right, we're back on The Life. I'm your host, Don Smith. Still sitting in here with Barry and Kathy Leggett from DATV's Dayton's Music Scene. I almost forgot every single bit of that. I don't know why.
It's because you got all those jokes in your head.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm so full of jokes, I have no room for actual knowledge
That's
anymore.
right. What do you need that for?
Yeah. I'm working on my MBA, and it's just going to be, I'm going to go into business meetings and just tell jokes. That's all I'm going to be able to do.
You'll be the
because
stress reliever.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't learned a single thing here, but I have a lot of jokes.
Oh, that's funny.
What's that? Well, I did learn a lot of jokes here at college.
This is a really nice college, isn't it?
It's got a lot of stuff. I wish they had more money. But
yeah, boy,
just
that's
not
been a
mine,
struggle,
though.
hasn't it?
It has. Well, actually, until about 3 months ago, I worked here.
Oh,
I was an HVAC tech in our HVAC department here.
Oh my gosh!
And with everything going on, and they don't pay HVAC as well as they should here. They don't pay anybody as well as they should here if you're not in administration. But even former administration who walked out with millions. But anyway, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get kicked off the air.
I'm
like
thinking,
this.
man.
And you know what? I don't care. Because I don't work for them anymore.
That's right. That's just some of those facts you have in your head.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the facts that should be turning into jokes as we speak. But most of them were jokes when they got there. Yeah. But no, I worked in the HVAC department here, which I enjoyed. I mean, I enjoyed working here. I really did. I worked with a lot of great people. The money just wasn't there.
Right.
And I went back to a place I formerly worked And I returned there at about a 40% pay increase.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
it
awesome.
wasn't like I could turn that down.
No, you really can't.
But I do miss working here because at least here I was strictly HVAC. Back where I am now, I'm HVAC and everything else. So,
Oh, wow.
I got to go do anything from fixing air handlers to plunging toilets, which is kind of nasty. But it is what it is.
That's right.
But it doesn't belong on the airwaves. That's where it doesn't belong. Should we do some news stories?
Sure.
Just for the heck of it. I know I told you about a couple of these, but not all of them. So we'll go ahead and start in California. A man in California says he was trapped in his own fifth-floor apartment this weekend after a delivery driver left a package in the worst possible place. Jesse Lawrence claimed via Twitter on Sunday that a UPS worker left a tall rectangular box just under the handle of his Bay Area apartment's front door. It blocked the handle from turning, and he had to call maintenance to get out.
Wow.
It's hilarious.
That's when you have to question whether or not you made that driver mad.
That's right.
Because they actually, in the article, he showed pictures where it was set, and it was right under it. Had one of the handles.
Oh my gosh, that is great.
And it could not turn it.
Or it's just a sign you shouldn't leave your apartment for the day.
Yeah, Yep, guess I don't have to go
Can
to
you
work.
imagine calling into work for that?
Yep, I call into work trapped by a box. What?
I can't turn the handle on my door.
Yeah, that's like trapped by a box. It's kind of like can't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
That's right.
Yeah, that's when you definitely have to question your relationship with your UPS driver because apparently he doesn't like you.
Apparently.
Because he had to have known he was home,
Yeah, you would think.
Of course, I would say if I was a UPS driver, every now and then I'd have to do stupid things like that just to break up the monotony.
Right. Wouldn't that be funny as you're walking away? Going,
Yeah. Just see the door. See the door handle start because you'd have to knock as soon as you left it there. You'd just watch. I'd have my cell phone out taping it. I'd have to record that.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd probably go viral. It probably would. That's great.
Oh, a new world record has been set for carrying mugs of beer in southeastern Germany. The way that's worded, I wonder if that's just carrying mugs of beer in southeastern Germany, if that was the record itself, or is there a separate record for each location? Anyway, moving on. In Bavaria, which is also home to Oktoberfest, the world's largest beer festival, Oliver Strumpfel cradled 31 beer-filled tankards stacked up in 2 tiers, walked 40 meters, and then set them down. But 2 tipped over at the last minute, so the record is 29 jugs, or more than 152 pounds of beer in glasses. That is a lot of beer to carry. Yeah.
It's a good buzz working right there.
Yeah, just a good buzz. That's not drunk. That's just a good buzz.
You don't hear from Barry, but boy, you start talking about that. He's right there.
There you go. I would say in Bavaria, 152 pounds of beer is just called a good start.
Yeah.
That's a good start to your evening right there.
That probably is true.
Yep. It always cracks me up how they have, at least that's a record that might actually make some sense. Because I don't know if you pay a lot of attention to some of these world records, the Guinness Book of World Records. Some of them are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like to get on them here. There was one, it was how many flights of stairs this guy could go up on his head without using his hands, actually bouncing up the stairs on his head.
See, that's ridiculous. There's not anybody else probably can do that.
Right. And how would you learn to do that?
Well, you got a lot of time on your hands.
Apparently.
Or else he found all that beer.
Have a lot of headaches.
Yeah, apparently he drank 152 pounds worth of beer
right.
and fell down the stairs on his head and said, let's see if I can do it the other way.
Now, my husband grew up in Germany in his high school years. He was in Germany. And how old were you when you're allowed to start drinking beer in Germany?
16.
Oh, okay. When you were allowed to start. How old were you when you started?
16.
Oh, okay.
He was in Germany. He was watched all the time.
See, because we were allowed at 21 when I was growing up, and I started at like 12.
Right.
So,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Unofficially,
Lord.
though. It's unofficially until I was 21. I officially started drinking at 21.
Well, he was really a straight-laced good guy at that time. And he listened to what his mom and dad told him to do.
See, I was a straight-laced good guy. I was just drunk. I was just a very relaxed, laid-back, straight-laced guy. See, and I can hardly drink beer anymore.
Oh, I'm the same way. I can't. Ugh.
Well, like I said, when I was telling you about being the manager of that hotel and developing an ulcer, that doesn't work well for beer drinking.
No,
it didn't
does
stop
not.
me. It didn't slow me down until later on when I also had gout. Because you talk about something that will get you to quit drinking quick.
That'll do it, huh?
Yeah,
I've never had gout, but I've
my
known people that
gosh.
have, and that's horrible, isn't it?
It is. And I had one flare up, and basically at that point, I really watched my diet. I didn't drink beer for a year.
Wow.
I mean, I'll drink like 1 or 2 beers every now and then now, but I did not touch a beer for an entire year after gout. That's how much pain that was.
Wow.
Because there's nothing you can do. I mean, you lay in bed at night and just the sheet touching your foot
Hurt.
is excruciating.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that awful?
it's terrible. But moving on.
Yeah.
Mexico smashes a world record with a 3-ton guacamole. More than 600 student chefs and 400 people from the rural town of Concepcion de Buenos Aires prepared the traditional dish for thousands of people, many of whom came from Jalisco state capital of Guadalajara. The state governor was on hand to receive recognition from a representative of the Guinness Book of World Records. 3 tons of guacamole to go with your 152 pounds of beer. Why not?
Ooh.
Although, well, that would have to be tequila, though. You'd have to have the...
Now, tequila's a whole different story.
Tequila, that's a story that nobody can remember to tell, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, Tequila Gold, you don't mess around with very much. I met the porcelain god the first night I drank Tequila Gold. You know what the porcelain god is, right?
Oh, yeah. I've met him.
I've
made
intimate
several
relationship.
offerings. Made several offerings at that altar.
Me too.
Well, yeah, I was telling you about the having to go to the police station one morning and ask what I did. That's a come to Jesus moment.
That
right there.
really
it's like,
is.
Maybe I should cut back on.
I think that's
on
awesome.
a little bit.
I can honestly tell you, I have never known anyone else to go to the police station and turn themselves in if they did anything wrong or find out what I did do wrong.
I didn't want to be driving to work and one morning and get pulled over for license plate light out, and then the next thing you know, I didn't show up for a court date that I, was drunk and threw the ticket away for public intox. But but I did go in there. I handed them my license. I said, "This is going to sound really dumb, but did I do something stupid last night?" And they ran my information and they printed up a report. They apparently, I left the bar at 2:30. The police found me at 5:00 in the morning. Passed out in a parking lot behind my house. I was like, my feet were on my property.
Gosh.
My head was on the parking block.
Wow.
And you didn't remember any of that.
I had just like flashes of knowing that I talked to the police, and that's the reason I went in to get that fun report. And they said I was really polite and really nice, and I was, they walked me to my front door and made sure I got in my house, and they left.
Oh, that's
so yeah,
horrible.
they could have run me in for that. Now here's the kicker: the next morning at noon, or the next day at noon, I had to be at the bank to close on a refi for my house.
Oh my God!
So I woke up at 11:45, and you talk about going into a bank smelling like a brewery.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm a
oozing.
responsible borrower.
You know that oozing smell?
Oh,
yeah,
man,
that you smell in somebody the day
Yeah,
after.
it was bad. It was bad.
I bet it was.
Yep.
I bet it was.
Oh, yeah, that's when you decide that's when you start questioning the decisions you've made in your life right there. So.
Yeah.
And now I just put that out over the air. But that's okay.
But that was a long time ago.
We've all had moments. I don't know what's happening. Something's about to blow up behind me, I think. So, do you hear that, or is it just me?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Something kicked on back there.
Oh, I hear it now.
Rather noisy.
Yeah.
All right. But more news. Brian Foster found an unexpected intruder when he returned to his flood-hit Texas home on Friday. While surveying the flood damage that Hurricane Harvey had caused to his property in Humble, he spotted a 9-foot-long alligator hiding underneath his dining room table. Foster summoned police officers and wildlife officials to help remove the animal from his house, which is near Lake Houston. They trapped the reptile, taped its snout shut, and bundled it in the back of a pickup truck.
Oh my gosh!
That would be now. We did a story last week about there was a gator farm, a little gator alligator conservatory or whatever they call it that was in Houston, where the flood water was going up above the fence. Oh. And they were worried about a lot of them getting out. So I'm wondering if that was one of them right there. If that wasn't the one that was able to get out there.
It's a lot of shoes.
That's a lot of shoes and belts right there.
That would scare me. I thought I was scared of spiders.
Yeah.
That ain't nothing.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to a gator in your dining room.
That's right.
The only gator I want in a dining room's on the table.
Have you ever eaten gator?
I have.
It's good?
It's pretty good. I tried it up at Buffalo Jack's up in not Pleasant Hill, Covington, Ohio, up north. If you take Main Street out of Dayton, Route 48, go up, 20, 30, however many miles up into Covington. It's on the left-hand side, Buffalo Jack's restaurant. They actually have bison steaks and burgers, which are pretty good. Mm-hmm. They sometimes have alligator. They sometimes have rattlesnake, I believe. You can taste a lot of unusual stuff that a lot of exotic stuff that probably some animal rights activists are screaming about.
Right. So. Absolutely. Did you like it though? Really? I mean, what's it taste like? Is it a white meat? Or?
It is kind of a white meat. Yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time, so I can't really describe it that way.
It just tastes like alligator, right?
Tastes like chicken, kind of.
That's what I said.
It's like a cross between fish and chicken. It's fickin'. Try a
fickin'
fickin' alligator.
Go.
Oops, I forgot about the delay system's broken.
Yeah, but
I just said
fickin' is not a bad word.
You're fickin' right about that. We push some limits here every now and then. Okay, an advertising agency in Thailand has developed a smart vest that potentially could turn stray dogs into guardians of Bangkok streets and alleyways. Equipped with a hidden video camera, the vest has sensors that transmit live streaming videos when the dog barks, showing what the dog sees via mobile phone and computer application. There are stray dogs on the streets of most Thai cities, and the developer thought smart vests could help both the dogs and the community. He says, I will make people feel the stray dogs can become night watches for the communities, said, I'm not even, Pakornkrit. Pakornkrit Kanaprop. That's the heck of a name right there. Who is on the creative team that came up with the idea for the advertising agency. So, yeah, that's...
wow, what do you think about that? I don't know, that could be good.
It could be. I mean, if you're going to have stray dogs, you might as well put cameras on them. At the very least, it could be,
Or, you could have, if you have guard dogs, then yourself for your property, you could have that if they're outside, just see what's going on.
Bark-activated cameras.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool, really. Told you I was weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they make shock collars that can shock dogs when they bark, which I think is cruel, they should at least have cameras. That way you see if they have reason to be barking.
That's right. Yeah. And, how much would you catch that, on that video that really could be beneficial to the police, too. So, you never know. So what guards America? Our stray dogs. Our stray dogs do.
See, I wonder if it also turns on when they bark when they're having a dream.
Yeah.
And how they, when just sitting there kicking and whining and yelping. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. See a lot of weird things.
I think really if they're going to do it, they should probably do it with cats because there's like millions of stray cats. Yeah, but
they really don't want that many pictures of cats licking themselves. That's really that's mostly what you'd get with them.
They're pretty boring.
Yeah.
Cats are not boring.
Cats are boring.
Yeah.
You have to really understand them to understand what they're doing.
Yeah, but how do you understand a cat?
You get in their head.
Why would you want to be there, though?
I don't know. We have 2 cats, and they're
I guess if you want to attach cameras to them, might as well get in their heads.
You might as well.
Stray cats with cats. Yeah, I couldn't see that being very useful because they just walk. See, cats just walk around doing their own thing.
Yeah, they do.
So you would just, it'd just be a day in the life is all you would get on video with that. With dogs, at least, there's somebody there that shouldn't be there. You're going to see them on that camera because they're going to say, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah, at least they make noise, too.
Cats, they might look up and you don't have enough time to identify whoever it is on camera before the next thing you see is a cat's butt.
That's true. That's very true.
Yep, and if you do some kind of a voice-activated camera thing, I don't think you want to see what they're doing when they start making a lot of noise.
No, we don't want to. We don't need to watch that.
So yeah, I think the cat. I can't get on board with the cat cameras.
I guess you talked me right
Cat
out
cam.
of it.
Cat cam.
That's a pretty cool name, though.
Yeah.
That's my
is it?
nickname.
Okay. So you need the cat cam on the
Cat
show
cam.
now. Yeah.
That's
That's what you're going to have to do with the Dayton Underground series. You're just going to have to carry a handheld
cam.
with you, and that's the cat cam
That's
right there.
That's
Put
good.
it on your head.
Yeah.
We
GoPro
may have
on
to
your
really
head.
play off of this.
Yeah.
I mean,
why
we
not?
could probably turn this into something.
Yeah.
We can give him all the credit.
Oh, that's okay. You know, I always enjoy in my show when a news story, I end up seeing it later with somebody that was on the show, because I don't know if you, one of the local comics and actors, I cannot think of his name, Skylar McNeely. He was on the show, and I saw him at Wiley's a couple weeks later, and he took one of the news stories we did in the show, and that was half his routine. I was like, I love that. That's
See, isn't
great.
that awesome?
Yeah,
so you
that's
inspired
fun.
him.
Yeah, I inspired him with a story about a guy that was actually involved in alligator.
Really?
It was a story about a guy that went through a Wendy's drive-through, and when they told him how much his Diet Coke would cost, he grabbed about a 3-foot alligator and threw it through the drive-through window and drove off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that happened in Florida, of all places.
Gosh,
Because,
can you imagine
Florida's
being
where
on the
most of the really
receiving-
good, crazy news comes from.
Oh, the receiving end of that, I would freak out. Again,
Yeah.
spiders.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
nothing.
Yep, and here comes an alligator when you were expecting $1.69 and some change, you know,
Oh
and here
my
comes an alligator.
God. That's crazy. People are nuts.
People are nuts. Well, I always love Florida news stories because that's where some of the craziest stuff happens.
Bizarre.
And I live down there, so I know what kind of crazy. I was telling you about being a manager at that Holiday Inn down there.
Uh-huh.
And one morning, I got a call from our night auditor. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. He said, somebody fell through our lobby ceiling.
Oh my
I said,
God.
what are you talking about? There's nothing above that. Because the lobby ceiling was like 25 feet high. It was a marble floor.
Uh-huh.
Somebody fell. What had happened is this guy was on something. I don't know what he was on. I never got the full police report and toxicology report. He lived, so far as I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because what happened, the night auditor was at his desk. He was checking somebody in. He heard a lot of banging around. He thought that, because our banquet rooms were right above our lobby. So he thought it was just banquet crews up there working late. And the next thing he knows, he starts seeing plaster fall from the ceiling. And then a foot comes through. And then the foot goes back up, and some guy sticks his head through and says, you're going to have to catch me. I'm going to fall. And the night auditor looked at him and said, F you. I'm not catching nothing. And the guy fell out of the ceiling, landed head first, 25-foot drop, landed head first onto a marble floor, jumped up and ran out the door. And it gets weirder. Our bellman was there, and he got on the phone as soon as he saw the guy stick his head through there, he got on the phone with the police, called 911. And so the bellman's on the phone with him. The guy runs out into the street, which is quite a ways out there beyond some bushes, so they couldn't see what was going on. Apparently, the guy ran in front of a fire truck and tried to get him to stop, and they basically shoved him aside, and the police cruiser stopped right behind the fire truck, and the guy jumped into the cruiser. And so as the bellman's on the phone with the police, they said, well, hold on, sir, I think he just jumped into one of our cars.
Oh my God.
And they're telling me this at 3 o'clock in the morning. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm at home trying to sleep, and I think, what is wrong with you guys? Do you really think I'm going to buy any of this?
And it's all true.
And every bit of it was true. I was like, this is...
Well, I
So
still,
that's why
how
I
did he
love
fall
Florida
through the
news.
ceiling?
He thought somebody was chasing him. He was, like I said, he was high on something. And he got into our workout room. He broke into our workout room, which was lower, and he busted his way up into the ceiling, and he crawled around and got lost.
Oh my God.
And he didn't know how to get back out, so he kicked his way out through the bottom and fell through the ceiling.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
He was really on something.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy
it was crazy.
stuff. Crazy.
All right. Well, we're about to have to wrap on you guys, so One more time, do you have a website to plug? Do you have plug away?
It's
you're forced to do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. We're on Facebook, just Dayton Music Scene. We're on YouTube, Dayton Music Scene. I want to give our times. On DATV, we're on Sundays at 12 noon and Thursdays at 9 p.m. And on CATV, we're on Sundays at 8 and Tuesdays at 8:30.
All right.
Yeah. And then, if you see something you really, really like, eventually it will come back on rerun and you'll be able to see it there too. But, I love it. We have permanent times and we're getting a really good following and would love to hear from some more people. Just check us out. Facebook /Dayton Music Scene.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on the show. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you. Thanks for
having
having
you.
us.
Also, be sure to get out the Dayton Underground series. There's some shows coming up Saturday, September 23rd at Mike's Bike Park.
That's new. Mike's Bike Park is new.
At 1300 East 1st Street in Dayton. Also Saturday, October 14th at the Courtyard Lounge in Englewood, and Thursday, December 28th at Oscar's Bar in Vandalia.
Yes.
Awesome.
So yeah, get out to those. And I'm going to play a little Mr. Stone King, just because I haven't played Mr. Stone King in a little while. And we will be back here shortly with my next guest.
Are you into making music, videos, or podcasts? Are you a local comedic talent in need of some much-needed publicity? Are you a behind-the-scenes professional interested in audio-video production, graphic design, and public relations? Eventide Entertainment is actively seeking talents, clients, and professionals to help our business grow into something truly special. And we want you to be one of those. For more information, go to facebook.com/Eventide Entertainment or send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com.
About 3 hours ago, our nation came under wide attack by unknown foreign power.
Coming this summer, when biological warfare threatens extinction, the world needs a hero.
Inside this bag is the cure for the zombie virus. Ta-da! I'm going to save the world. How about you?
William Lee is Zachariah Stone in Cinema Lexicon's 6 Feet Below Hell.
Your kind is doomed, human.
That is one ugly mother. It wasn't so bad. Really?
Starring William Lee, William Regglesworth, Banza Townsend, and Aaron Perez. 6 Feet Below Hell. Available in Redbox this summer.
If you see someone that you know is dead and then come back to life, run!
We'll just get right into it. This is The Life. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing today?
All right. How you doing?
Man, I'm feeling kind of like Bernie Sanders right now. It's like, hey, y'all should have listened to me, but nobody cares. So now I'm trying to do the best that I can and trying to get famous in another way. How y'all doing with that?
Hi, Tabari.
How you doing?
Tabari McCoy is joining us on the phone. This is The Life. Since we just had the phone ring, and I came right in from the break, and here we are.
I understand.
I'm wondering if Tabari knows my voice.
I recognize the voice, but I can't figure out why I recognize this voice. It's
Like every other
as long as you
woman.
don't work
Now
for
let me
Bank
quit.
of America, I don't mind recognizing the voice. So.
Man, I don't have a credit score that could get me work at a bank. It's Leslie.
Hey, how you
Leslie
doing,
Battle
madam?
sitting in this.
How's
Leslie Battle.
everything with you today?
Hi, everybody, and special shout out to my friend Rory Eustace, who sent me an angry text. Why are you not on the radio yet? He's probably laughing right now. I hope that made your day, Rory.
It's some of my HVAC friends from Wright State are walking past the window now, so I have to take time to wave at them.
And my nosy butt turn around like I would know who it is.
Well, you should have at least waved.
I'm getting in a sandwich from McAllister's Deli. Free plug. Hook me with a cookie. So we all got things we're trying to do.
Yeah, there you go.
I could use a sandwich.
So you're getting ready to do Wiley's tomorrow night, right?
Woot woot.
Yes, I will be at Wiley's, the oldest comedy club in Ohio, to perform and tell jokes to the folks. I'm bringing two of my funny friends with me. 2017 funniest person in Cincinnati contest, Rand Barnacle winner. So Rand will be there.
Rand's a great guy.
I think with a name like that, he would have the same skin tone as me, but nope. He would be much quicker to get an invite to say the RNC than I ever would. And,
Rand is very Anglo, but he's very nice.
Yes, very nice dude. And,
which I shouldn't have to qualify that by saying but.
Chris Weir will be there as the middle comic.
Oh, I love Chris, too.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Chris's newlywed story is the best.
We have a great night of comedy planned. We have, at least I do. Now, my opening acts, y'all better be funny or you'll make me look bad. But we have a great night of comedy planned. It starts at 8 o'clock. You'll be ready to get home and be in your beds by 10, unless you live, like, say, 20, 30 minutes while, because I don't know where you people are at. But I don't care where you're at, as long as you're there tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And by
Wait,
8,
what you mean, you people? What you mean, you people? Did you say you people?
Hey, that's right. I'm good at all people. You people, red people, blue state people, the undecided people, which is why we in this mess right now in the first place. And if you didn't like that joke, you ain't going to like the rest of my act, so probably going to come out. But, hey, come on out. Donate your money to my United Negro Out of College Fund, and then go home angry and tell us you did a good deed.
Is it just me, or is it too soon to start blaming these hurricanes on the people who've been blaming hurricanes on other people for decades?
I say go for it. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I already made a meme about it, and I'm proud of myself.
Exactly. Hey, this is America. We blame everybody for everything except ourselves.
Exactly.
I feel guilty because I have family in the area that was affected, and I'm very blessed that my family is all safe and sound. I have some Facebook friends that were actually flooded, and so they're, having to recover from that. But like the meme that I made, on one side is a dude holding a Confederate flag, and it says, "You can't stop me from celebrating my Southern heritage." On the other side is a picture of Harvey, and it says, "God, hold my beer."
I understand. Well, I mean, it's funny to me. This is the first time a dude named Harvey's been relevant in decades. So.
Right? I was like, this is all the nerds in the world getting back at y'all.
Are you guys picking on Dusty Harvey?
Maybe. That's his last name, though. We're talking about
Dusty
first name Harvey.
He has a beautiful wife and a beautiful child, so he's ready to be kicked in the groin.
Oh, that's funny.
And now we wonder why comics are solitary animals.
Oh, yeah. The worst thing you can be around comedians is positive and happy.
Right?
Yeah, like you just got drafted. Like, I don't want none of that.
Real talk, one of my best friends was like, "Leslie, I love when you're happy, like when I was dating that one guy and then it all fell apart." But she was like, "But you're so much funnier when you're angry." Yeah. It's like, oh, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
now
you
I
were
understand why all
Amish guy for a while.
He's not Amish, but yeah, that. And I figured we were going to get to that, so I just wanted to go ahead and get to that.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I mean, I want Tabari to have his time, but I just, that was.
Thank you. I would like my time because Lord knows I got bills. So, yes. Anything you want to know else about the show, though? It's going to be myself, as I said. It's going to be Rand, and it's going to be Chris Weir. So you got two former funniest person in Cincinnati winners opening up for a guy who never won, even though I got to the semifinals twice in both the amateur and the semi-pro divisions. So what's that tell you about the talent on this show, besides the fact that I should have won, because I was funny?
I was going to say two semifinal bouts equals a final. You won.
That should count.
Well, hey.
I think if they broke it down to votes,
you're
you'd have won.
The points. It's kind of like, I won't say like NASCAR, but you're ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Don, you got two black guests on the show. Don't bring up NASCAR. Come on.
Well, Tabari, let's be real. I come from the South. I'm probably at best three-quarters.
Tyler Perry movies just to leave him out the loop.
As much as I would love to be 100%, I gave birth to blue-eyed babies. I'm at best three-quarters, Tabari.
Hey, it's all right, because I've been known to play this number in somebody DX game, so it's all good.
I listen to NPR on purpose. It's all we are all just going to confess now.
Yeah, see, I don't even go that far. I don't watch NASCAR either. I just thought it'd be funny to bring it up.
Don Smith just told us that he's blacker than you and me, Tabari. That's what just happened. And part of me can't question that.
Hey, it happens. He is in Dayton. I mean, it's not hard to beat.
Yeah, every street in Dayton is a mean street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't live in Dayton though. I live in Englewood, so it's
you work in Dayton, dude. Don't try to pretty it up now.
Yeah.
Did you see how far he tried to separate himself? And I was like,
right.
Guess what? That's Don talking trash about you, Dayton. Nah,
I mean Mason. Whatever, Don.
I understand.
See, I was gonna say it's nice having you on, Tabari, because last time you were on the show, you were actually calling from Cincinnati to a Dayton radio show to promote a Louisville comedy show. So at least we got the cities all right this time.
Hey, baby steps. You know what I mean? Baby steps.
What do you want from us, Don? Jeez.
I don't know. Just good conversation. That's all I ever really want.
Well, I've been
And
told I have a talent
I keep
for
inviting
that.
comics on the show.
See, I used to want that myself, and then I got older and I got bills, and now I want cash. That's the thing, cash. Not Johnny either. I respect him, but I ain't going to Folsom Prison because I'm going to pay my bills because I want cash.
I want money, lots and lots of money.
Mm-hmm.
I want my pie in the sky. You remember that song? That was a hit song.
Yeah, that's,
Well,
I
I was going to say, be
didn't listen
careful
to
though,
it.
because if you sing 2 more bars, we're going to owe ASCAP money.
That's
So,
why I stopped.
Yeah, that's you got to know when to stop.
That's why I stopped.
Got to know when to stop. That's why I stopped before I started.
But I'm gonna take the compliment. Nobody was like, "Stop, Leslie," because wow.
Well,
Oh, no.
I didn't want to upset you. No.
You know what?
I'm just kidding.
Hey, there's plenty of people that can't sing who have made a career of it.
That's
True.
true. That's
You're
true.
doing fine.
Thank you.
I mean, Bob Dylan's been doing it for a long
Oh,
time.
good Lord. So the
There's no
whole
auto-tune.
"We
Yeah,
Are the
that's true,
World"
that's
video was recirculating right after Harvey. Did anybody get this to their inbox?
I
on
did not see.
Facebook?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
see that coming around
the
again.
80s, Quincy Jones
Yeah.
with everybody. And I was watching this thing and I was just like, all of these people look exactly the same and you trying to tell me they ain't had work done. I mean, that video is 30 years old. And it was like Cyndi Lauper and...
Well, not all of them look exactly the same.
well-
I think Michael's changed some.
Okay, everybody
Well.
who's alive.
Oh, okay.
And no,
Okay.
really, I was actually having this debate with a coworker. Was just like, well, that was when Michael Jackson was still kind of brown, and they're like, nope. I'm like, did you see the pictures of him before he died? Because this was definitely a different shade on the Pantone color wheel.
Oh yeah.
That we're talking about. Okay,
Yeah,
But
I don't
it was
think
just kind of
that wasn't a
watch.
naturally occurring thing anymore.
Well,
Either
they-
I
you know.
had to have a,
You know what, though? He still looks better than Sammy Sosa.
Oh, I know. What is up with that? Who is telling these people that they look good?
Whoever is cashing their checks.
yeah.
I guess so, because somebody is telling them, no, it's great. No, you look like the zombie apocalypse has begun. I need you to not do that.
We know this was a possibility because we all saw Michael Jordan when he was rocking that Hitler mustache and them bad. I want to be a hip dad, but I really like an old-fashioned dude that got some clear stuff and value saved when they still sold clothes. We all saw that, and nobody stopped him because he has too much money. Everyone was like, someone should tell Michael about that mustache. They're like, did you get your Jordan check yet? Yeah. Shut up. That's what happened. What happened?
That's fair. That's
Yeah,
super
yeah.
fair. But then I think maybe there's just this little part of people who are just like, nah, let him look like that. You got all that money, let him look like that.
Yeah, that's
Why
a
do you
little bit of
think
get
Kim
back. Right
Jong-un looks like a waiter at a bad chain restaurant.
Dude.
There's a reason. No one's going to stop that dude. You think anyone's going to tell him no?
Well, that and,
Yeah.
putting his uncle up in front of a firing squad. I mean, that would kind of deter me a little
Yeah.
bit.
I haven't seen a firing squad since you can't do that on television. Come on.
Right? He's like, I'm bringing those things back.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's brought a lot of things back.
He really has. And he has children. Someone
Yeah,
is procreating with him.
yeah.
And I believe that there is.
Which
That's
just
called
means it's going to
against their will.
perpetuate.
That's how that happens.
I
Come on,
did
man.
not say that it wasn't. I'm just saying it is a
You
part
know, I
of
was
the
just sitting
human
there thinking
condition.
nothing sells tickets to a comedy show like jokes about a dictator doing sexual assault. Nothing sells tickets like that. So, Dave, if you want to hear things that probably won't be potentially offensive or get one of us killed if we happen to travel overseas, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Wiley'sComedy.com. Get the tickets. They're only $5. What you going to do, buy Powerball? You ain't going to hit it unless you're in your 70s. And if you're in your 70s, you probably ain't coming to my show no way because you can't hear my jokes.
I'm going to need you to repeat that
Yeah,
at like
take a
60%
breath.
speed.
Yeah.
I never had micro machines as a kid, but I was a fan of the toy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy did talk really fast. So speaking of what we were just speaking of, so I'm probably going to get called out for being a hypocrite after laughing at that because I actually removed myself from a couple of shows because one of the comics decided it would be funny to joke about rape in the group chat. And I called him out on it. And basically I got told, oh, well, have you spoken out every time somebody jokes about rape? And I'm just like, well, maybe
That
I
was
haven't,
their
but
defense?
also maybe
Yeah,
you know,
not much of a defense.
maybe I don't feel really good about it. No, by the way, the thing is, what the guy literally said in the group chat was, I'm going to keep it clean for the ladies. I'm going to start with rape, knowing that the headliner was female.
Brilliant.
Well,
Yeah.
remember how Facebook built itself as a place for friends? I've talked about this on stage. At this point, Facebook and most social media at this point only has three purposes. Keep up with friends and family that you really like, keep on top of the latest news trends, and hate on people from high school or from a safe distance behind the keyboard. That's about it. That's
Real
about
talk,
it.
real
And if
talk.
you don't believe me, watch the movie The Social Network. Mark Zuckerberg is sitting there at the end of the movie, lonely and sad. And I met Jesse Eisenberg in real life. He's a nice dude. He's actually kind of happy. Not Pharrell Williams happy, but you get my point.
Tabari is so much better at this than me. I feel like I should go home and like read up on some stuff.
Hey, you're a busy woman, and you have a lot of things going on. I'm a single dude, and I have a lot of time to myself to think.
Facebook me is busy. Facebook me is the bomb. Real life Leslie should learn to knit. I mean, that is.
Well, I have one caveat. If real world Leslie learns to knit, please don't post all her pictures on Facebook.
Oh,
that's all I have.
I wouldn't, because then people would worry about me. Like, well, when did you start knitting? I mean, it would be like, is one of your kids having a kid? Because that would be the next inference,
right?
Is that I'm about to be a grandma, even though I'd be knitting stuff like Scully's and
you
stuff.
You could come back and then you have a built-in joke and a title for your album. You could call your comedy album "Knitter Please." That's right, racy jokes on Dayton Radio at 1:15 in the afternoon. Take that, Dayton.
That's all right.
You know what, Tabari? This is about the most we've ever talked, and I'm enjoying it so immensely.
I like how Don got so nervous. He was like, and that's it. All right.
Well, you should have seen. He was looking at me like, Leslie, say something. Leslie, say something.
No, it's all good, man. I'm just sitting back listening to you guys talk. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I aim to please.
Yeah, I just wanted to relax today anyway. I didn't want to be part
good.
of the anything,
So can I talk about sexism and casual sexism?
Absolutely. Why not?
So here's what happened, because, Don noticed.
This is a college campus. You'll probably get a lot of fans.
Don noticed that I've been in my feelings on Facebook lately, and really it's just like the last couple of days. But I've posted a couple of things because I've noticed a couple of things. But leading up into this, so there was the group chat thing in which I got my integrity questioned, because I was like, dude, rape's not funny. I had to buy a tire. Okay, I had to buy a tire, and so I was at the Midas, and I had bought a used tire, and so it was only like $35 or whatever, so no warranty. But I was thinking, the place was recommended to me, yada yada yada. Well, like 3 weeks after I bought the used tire, the tread started separating because I drive a lot. Right. And so I had taken it in and gotten it balanced. And then like 3 weeks later, it was even worse. It was wobbling at low speed. And I was just like, I need to get this checked. And so I go to the Midas. The guy shows me where it's bulging in two places. Okay. So.
At the same place you just bought it.
No. I didn't buy it from Midas. I bought it from random shady place that I'll never go back to. And just on a caveat, bougie black people, you need some shady white friends, because you can avoid situations like that if you know somebody who tells you the right place to go. But I digress.
I have one of those, and I talk about it in my act.
Dude, I am experiencing a shortage, and I need some assistance, because the way my budget is set up right now, I need some shady people in my life that won't, shank me.
Well, they got replaced when Obama got out of office. But those were your Eminem white friends, and now they've been replaced by Eminem's dad. He's gonna want some affection, isn't he? Oh, okay. But anyway, so I go to this Midas. I'm gonna replace the tire, right? Because it's clearly damaged and may fail. While I'm out on the highway, nobody wants that. So it was going to cost me $85. I had the $85, but I also had plans for the $85 other than buying a tire. So I was a little, reluctant. I didn't. So the guy, calls me up to the counter, and I just kind of sighed, and I kind of, slowly approached the counter, and he says to me, "Oh, well, I get it. It's not like you're buying something cool like shoes." And then he just grins at me like he has just scored the winning touchdown at the Super Bowl. Now, mind you, I'm standing there in jogging shorts and a T-shirt with my hair pulled back in a ponytail, no makeup on, looking low maintenance as all get out. And he thinks that I would rather buy shoes than save my own life. Okay, guy. And so I look at him, and I just am like, really? And he's like, what? You know what? You don't even get an answer at this point. You are clearly not going to understand just how grossly inappropriate what you just said to me is.
I don't think you could use small enough words.
I'm going to say, I don't think he understood it, but second, as a man who has a large sneaker collection, maybe he just thought you were a fan of a Jordan Retro. Maybe that was what happened.
I'm only
Yeah,
going to
like
allow it
that,
because
I
you're funny,
knew Don
Tabari.
was getting ready to laugh, and I can feel Leslie's eye roll through my iPhone.
I'm only
That's
going to
why-
allow it
that's why
because you're
I
funny.
quit. I quit.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah.
You didn't just go somewhere else.
Here's what I can tell you.
Well, they'd already put it on.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I was
both
afraid
both
to.
men, women, and the undecided are welcome at my show tomorrow night. So come on out, 8 o'clock, Wiley's, Dayton, Ohio, Wiley'sComedy.com. I got to grow because I still got bills to pay with me. Since I ain't making Kevin Hart money, I got stuff else I got to get ready to go do.
Thank you for the ray of sunshine this evening, afternoon, day, time, whatever it is, Tabari. It's good talking to you.
Yep.
And Leslie, I'll see you soon. Don, I'll see you soon. And people that are listening to this, prove to Don that he has more than 10 listeners because his ego cannot take it. So
Not
he
at
needs
all.
All of y'all to come on out tomorrow night. Make this man happy. Let him know that he matters in the world.
Absolutely.
Remember, Don's life matters, people. And a black man said it. So come on out.
Hashtag
It's gonna be a
DLM.
great time.
Yeah,
Don Lives
Thanks,
Matter.
Tabari. You're a hell of a man.
Well, I try. At least that's what I hope that women will say. I mean it in a positive sense.
Gotta love him. Gotta love him.
All right, y'all have a good one and take care. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night.
Thanks,
All right, have a
Tabari.
good show. Thanks.
You too. Later.
Oh my God, he's so funny.
Oh, well, I think we're going to play a song, take a little break. I got to run down the hall, actually. That's sometimes
We'll
just
get
gotta
back
run
before
down
the
hall.
song's over because I don't know how to run this stuff.
Oh, I was going to have you take over. I wasn't going to be back for about 40 minutes.
Oh, okay. Which buttons do I push? Oh, not the race and sexism ones?
It doesn't matter. Just push a couple things.
Not the race and
we'll-
sexism ones? Okay.
No, don't push those buttons. Not till I get back anyway, because I want to be here for those. All right. Here's a little more Potter's Field. We'll be back here shortly.
Are you into making music, videos, or podcasts? Are you a local comedic talent in need of some much-needed publicity? Are you a behind-the-scenes professional interested in audio-video production, graphic design, and public relations? Eventide Entertainment is actively seeking talents, clients, and professionals to help our business grow into something truly special. And we want you to be one of those. For more information, go to facebook.com/Eventide Entertainment or send us an email at eventideent@gmail.com.
About 3 hours ago, our nation came under wide attack by unknown foreign power.
Coming this summer, when biological warfare threatens extinction, the world needs a hero.
Inside this bag is the cure for the zombie virus. Ta-da! I'm going to save the world. How about you?
William Lee is Zachariah Stone in Cinema Lexicon's 6 Feet Below Hell.
Your kind is doomed, human.
That is one ugly It wasn't so bad. Really?
Starring William Lee, William Regglesworth, Banza Townsend, and Aaron Perez. 6 Feet Below Hell. Available in Redbox this summer.
If you see someone that you know is dead and then come back to life, run!
All right, we're back on the life. Tabari McCoy has gotten off the phone, and it's
Sad
just
face.
it's sad face. It's just me and Leslie Battle.
It's an
Happy
intimate
face.
little gathering.
So, yes, it's just the two of us.
So we got a couple minutes for me to read my thing. It'll
Sure,
take like a minute and a half.
Read your thing. Is there a
So,
setup required? Or?
Well, Don and I are Facebook friends, and so he noticed that I've been in my feelings about some things that we'll talk about a little bit later. But not a lot of people know that I also write poetry. Sometimes it leans a little erotic. This one is not particularly.
Oh.
Remember, the thing is broken, so we can't be editing stuff out.
That's right.
And I mean, honestly, I just do a lot of not illusion, but illusion.
Yeah.
Anyway, because that's just where my life is right now. I don't get the real thing. So, but I don't know. I just really feel compelled to share this right now, and we'll talk a little bit about it afterwards. I feel powerless. I am strong and imposing and foreboding and a force of nature. Men tremble as I walk by and hold their tongues. They look on in admiration, lust, envy. They just know that he belongs to me and we are a we, but the truth is I am alone. I awaken each morning to the certain chill afforded by a bed bereft of a partner. I fight sleep each night, trying to avoid the emptiness that surrounds me. I don't want to die alone. Yet every night when the energy leaves and my eyelids are unable to avoid each other, I hear myself screaming, please no, not again. I don't want this. And I blink. When I return to consciousness, the evidence of my sleeping struggle, my hands and arms grasping for a phantom physique, I sigh and rouse myself and rise and get on with my day. The facade, the pretending, the smiling when I want to cry. I want to be strong. I want to not care. I want to tell myself to just get over it. And yet, each day, the regret, the angst, the melancholy, they deepen and strengthen like an army of adversaries waiting their chance to devour. And part of me just wants to lay down and let them. Maybe I'd be better if I'd let them take over, let them defend the walls I've built, the levees I've reinforced, to keep out the very people I think I want more than anything. Give in, let bitterness reign, join in the celebration of all that is wrong, obscuring anything that is right. But somehow I do continue on, taking life one step at a time, ignoring my fatigue, reveling in the victories of others, even as it deepens my own pain, and praying for the time when my peace is made one way or another so I no longer feel powerless. So, yeah, that's the Leslie y'all don't see on stage.
Yeah, that's Leslie I haven't seen before. So.
Yeah, and the thing is,
and this is a live show that nobody's heard before. Right, because usually we don't get deep here.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry
because
I think that especially in the times that we're living in now, and I don't know where this is coming from, and I'm not sure why I felt compelled to share that. But right now, we're seeing a lot of anger. We're seeing a lot of hatred. We're seeing a lot of people not really knowing each other. And I think that maybe if we could be a little more honest with each other, which in some cases, some of the honesty that we have seen has actually been helpful because there have been people hiding in the shadows, hiding their true feelings, and some of that stuff needs to come out so it can get addressed. But also, I think that there just needs to be a little more realism that I believe that most, if not all, people kind of have this dichotomy of personality. There's, the very public self that, has to, because of the ways of the world, be strong and be invulnerable and try to, be someone who can't be taken advantage of. And then there's this other part of them that just, wants a friggin' break, just, wants to, dig the bubble bath or whatever it is that you can relax. And because we don't see the vulnerability in each other, we're afraid to show our own. So, that's that. Yeah. So back to jokes.
Back to comedy. No, that was a very nice poem. And
Thank you. It would have been really awkward if you were just like, well, Leslie, you really need to stick to comedy because that was awful.
What was?
But that's the thing, though, is one of the things that I kind of struggle with, and part of the reasons that I've been exploring my own emotions a little bit more lately and actually being willing to share them, is that I do kind of find myself in a situation as a single woman, like the whole thing with the group that, I tried to correct, is like, I get that there are people that respect me, but I also get that there are people who would victimize me given the chance. And as a person who travels alone a lot, I can't jeopardize my own safety for what somebody calls a joke. Because if you're willing to joke about it, then there's a distinct possibility that you're willing to look the other way or even perpetrate it. And I know a lot of people think that that's a huge leap, but it's really kind of not. And at the end of the day, so let's get into Jebediah.
Okay. If you want,
that was the nickname we unceremoniously gave my now ex-boyfriend the last time I was on. So long story short, when our relationship ended, it just kind of basically boiled down to me telling him, you know what, you're not getting it and it's not going to work. And I need you to leave me alone now because it's not going to work. And so this guy drove an hour and a half to come to one of my shows to talk to me after 2 weeks of me telling him I wasn't going to talk to him anymore. Now, Had he been violent with me before? No. Was there probability that he was going to be violent? I don't know. Was there also a potential that somebody would find Leslie in a ditch and not know what the heck happened to her? Yeah, not going to do that. So at the end of the day, you know, we live in a world where people need to have some vigilance. But now this kind of goes back to the thing that happened yesterday. So vigilance is one thing. All right. But what we also see is this idea of people can prevent assaults that happen to them. And so I saw this post.
The victim blaming.
Right. And so I saw this post yesterday, and this person basically was exclaiming, you know, it's so wrong that parents now can't tell their daughters and specified daughters, you know, to be careful without being, you know, called judgy. And so I responded to the post, well, if you look at the statistics, only about 25% of assaults are perpetrated by strangers. Right. The rest are acquaintances, people in positions of power. And so basically I ended up getting told that I needed to see a therapist for my anger issues after I posted statistics that, you know, maybe we shouldn't be blaming victims for making poor choices. We should be putting the responsibility on the assailants who perpetrate the crimes.
But that's an anger issue.
I have anger issues.
Did you post it in all caps? Is that what the...
There were words. I do capitalize words for emphasis.
Yeah,
but evidently I'm just a bitter, angry woman who doesn't understand that sexual assault, these are survivors, should take responsibility for their part in the assault.
I need to stop having such angry guests on this.
I know, right? I know. And I mean, that's the thing is it's for a lot of the things that are happening right now, a lot of the conversations that are happening right now, it's really, really distressing for me. And I will use the word distressing that there are so many people who are so comfortable in their own realms that there is nothing that is going to help them to understand something that they have never lived through.
Right.
And I get it. You know, everybody wants to gripe about the PC police and everybody wants to gripe about, you know, I can say whatever I want. You absolutely can say whatever you want, but you absolutely also need to give other people the same respect you're demanding if they decide not to be around you for saying whatever you want.
Right.
I mean, that's just, you know, you don't get to force me to be a part of your ideology, you know. I was trying to.
I saw that pause. I was like, I wonder if she's going to cuss at
me.
No.
I'm trying to think of big words to still sound intelligent without getting all in my rage. Because, in all honesty, too, part of the reason that these things are just so chaotic right now is that people are degrading into rage without thinking what they're saying.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times, you know, it just degrades into name calling and insults, and it's just like, you're not even using logic anymore. You're just trying to insult me. And so that's one of the things that I try really hard not to do.
Well, Facebook and social media is very good for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's very good for people to just go into name calling because they can, I guess they consider that arguing nowadays is just.
Well, and I think the thing is, if we look at arguing versus debating, they're calling it a debate, but it's an argument.
Right.
And
it's not so much as an argument as name calling. And
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, third thing, and then I'll try to be funny again. So another thing
show
that
doesn't
got me.
always have to be funny.
Okay, that's good to know.
Sometimes we can discuss real things that matter.
Doggone these hormones.
It's just so rare. I'm always taken by surprise when it happens.
Oh, I you know, I'll put it like this. A friend of mine told me the other night, and I really hadn't thought about it, and I really have thought about it since. But I told him how I have been like backing away from Facebook debates because I feel like I don't really have a voice. I feel like somebody else has to speak for me. And what that was born from was the idea that even though people know that things that are wrong are happening and not being addressed, it takes somebody in the mainstream to say, hey, you guys, this is a problem, after the people who have been victimized have been saying it for decades.
Right.
And that goes for women, that goes for minorities, that goes for people with disabilities, that goes for alternative lifestyles. At the end of the day, it doesn't really become a problem until enough people that are quote unquote mainstream get the attention of other people that are quote unquote mainstream. And so I was talking to my friend about this, and he was just like, you have an amazing voice. You shouldn't discount yourself like that. You shouldn't say that you don't have a voice. You absolutely have a voice, and you need to use it. And then 2 days later, I'm on the radio. So.
Hey, there you go. And you're using your voice.
So, yeah, here we are. But then the last thing, and then we can crack jokes about it. I was reading how the Cleveland police are thinking about boycotting carrying the flag of the Browns. And I comprehend that the person who said this was not representing the department per se. But the person who said this, I'm loosely quoting, basically said it's ignorant of these players to participate in this protest. And I was so infuriated. And Don, I can tell you right now, that whole laugh might be confusing you, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going to speak to a stereotype right now. When black women laugh about something that they're mad about, it's because we feel like we can't punch. I mean, that's literally what happens. And so I read this, and just the use of the word ignorance in this context just made me so infuriated, because what that said to me was, here was a person who is so ignorant of the basis of the protest. He's so ignorant of the travesties that have happened, executed by people wearing his uniform, okay? Executed by people that he pledged allegiance to. Ignorant of why people are so frustrated and why it's come to this, and has the nerve to say these people are ignorant for doing this. Now, you know what ignorance is to me, and I'm probably going to make some people mad, but it just is what it is. Violence is ignorant to me. Mm-hmm. Okay? If you can't speak on whatever it is that you need to get resolved, violence is not going to make you look better. No. Now, are enough people frustrated to the point from being ignored for as long as they have that they're resorting to violence? That's what's happening. Got it. I don't think that it's making things better. But again, when I hear the black people started the race war thing, when I hear the you just need to get over slavery stuff, oh no, that was point blank said to me by a person that I have worked with.
Wow.
Okay? How can you possibly comprehend, much less understand, the true basis for what's going on in this country right now if you can say things like that? Now,
yeah, I don't get that.
The whole idea with 45, I will not call him by his government name, talking about these are good people, when he won't say the same thing about Latinos who have helped build this country, about Afro-Americans who have helped build this country, pretty much anybody else who helped build this country. And if we're going to talk about immigration and legality of it, let's just understand that the Native Americans didn't have an immigration policy in place when the Europeans came.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit different, I
think. But that's the thing. It's like, before somebody jumps on the, oh my God, she's a militant black lady and she hates all white people. First of all, understand I've been married to a white man, so just shut it. All right?
Yeah, but you definitely hate that one, probably.
That one guy, yeah. But
I'm not scared of you, so we're okay.
That's good to know, because I really need a white friend right now.
Okay.
But the thing is people are wanting minorities and women and other non-mainstream people to forget everything that has happened up to now and start with a clean slate, but they keep doing the same stuff that we're supposed to forget. Right. You can't forget stuff that's still happening. That is not logical.
Well, yeah. If you're telling somebody to get over something and then you have a bunch of ignorant people marching, carrying flags that represent what you're supposed to be getting over.
And that's the thing. You see the flag and you see one thing. What you don't see is, and it's been documented in films and in photographs and historically, that flag was flown over people while they were being beaten and murdered. And we're supposed to look at that thing and be like, oh no, it's cool. I'm not supposed to feel any kind of way about that. I'm not supposed to feel like anybody flying that flag is going to have any violent intentions toward me. That's like trying to say you can separate the alcohol from the moonshine. You can't.
Right.
And to see this thing flying at a government building where I'm supposed to expect to get equal treatment? Seriously? Sorry.
That's okay. That's
not
okay.
sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry.
You shouldn't,
because
it's an upsetting
and
situation.
What frustrates me is that people who have known me, people who have worked with me, people who have not heard me speak out about this before, make assumptions. Well, you're a veteran, so you must feel XYZ way. Well, no. First of all, don't tell me what I think. Okay. Second of all, I can guarantee you there's a lot more veterans than not who think that the idea of police brutality is a horrible thing. There are a lot more veterans than not who think that racism is a horrible thing. So don't get on this high horse about they're disrespecting the flag. They're disrespecting what it stands for. What's disrespectful to the flag is that you people will turn a blind eye to these issues and say it's not my problem until it happens to somebody white. There, I said it. Ooh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
How about those Dodgers?
Okay.
Is there anybody who's not making the police mad right now? Who do we talk about?
I don't know. I don't think there's a whole lot that doesn't make police mad these days. So,
and the thing is, let me state again, I am friends with people who are police. And they are wonderful people. I am friends with a number of veterans because I'm a veteran myself. Wonderful people. The thing is, the ones who aren't being wonderful people need to be held accountable. That's all the heck we're asking for. And so when somebody says Black Lives Matter and you retort with no, all lives matter, the first thing you're saying is no.
Right.
Okay?
Well, that's the analogy I use on that one is if you're driving down the road and you get a flat tire, you don't open the hood and change out the serpentine belt. You concentrate on the tire.
Exactly.
Because that's the problem.
And unfortunately, between social media and mainstream media and what is getting concentrated on right now, that's exactly what's happening is, well, we have this other problem that's born from this bigger problem, but we're going to just sweep the bigger problem away and put the focus of attention on the smaller problem because, I mean,
you'd take your car into the mechanic. Well, all parts matter.
Right.
Why should we concentrate on what's broken? All parts matter.
But,
unfortunately, not enough people understand it that way.
So how do we how does that discussion go? Because this is what's happening. You got a lot of people who are trying to have this discussion and they're arguing it. They're not debating it. Right. And so they're dug in to what they think. No matter what, they're dug into what they think. And okay, I am biased because I really do believe that the mistreatment of somebody based on something other than their actions is inappropriate. But there are people who don't believe that. Now,
it's hard to see that as a bias.
Well, remember,
for some of us, it's hard to see that.
This is me and my anger issues. Okay, I'm a very angry person. I need to see a therapist about why I believe people should actually have some expectation of enjoying the same securities as other law-abiding citizens. I mean, I don't.
Well, some people see any anger and frustration as an anger problem. But
I think that's
true. An anger problem is when you absolutely have no control and you snap because somebody put the wrong lid on your coffee cup at Starbucks and you start throwing.
That's why I don't go to Starbucks anymore. That happened and I had to check myself. Ooh, you did it.
I did it.
I'm the amateur and you did it. That's awesome. For those of you who don't know, Dawn got a little sign today and it says, "Oh bleep, the delay thing is broken, so we're trying to be extra careful not to curse." And so when I was looking for a 4-syllable word, Don thought I was going to curse and he held up the sign, and I don't have a sign to hold up for Don.
No,
so
and
how do I police him? How do I? Nobody heard it. Nobody calling to the station. Nobody.
Nothing can be done about it.
You know what?
Now.
We're probably making a much bigger deal about it than anybody actually
nobody
heard it.
It's just they're hearing the discussion of it, so now they're going to listen back, which that's okay because I record it and I'll bleep it out when it comes time for the podcast. So it's just going to look like we didn't say anything.
There was nothing to see here. Nothing.
But I mean, it's a situation that leads to making you want to cuss.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So I mean, to me, I think what a lot of people are overlooking in this discussion is that if you want to refer to them as factions, we have these factions within our society that are insisting on coexisting without respecting the other.
Right.
Now, if you want to go off in the woods and do your thing.
There used to be those factions that were out in the woods.
Right.
But it's like something happened back in November that has been kind of a call to action to these factions to say, hey, come out.
Right.
And that's a problem. In a way, well, at least now we know who they are.
But can I say that part of the reason that it is a problem is after all of these years of minorities and women saying this is what these people do when you're not looking, now they're doing it out in the open. And I'm going to say it. People are kind of like, oh, I should have been listening.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say above all else, but way high up there is the I don't want to be wrong factor. And so some of the people that are so dug into this that it still doesn't matter thing just don't want to be wrong. It's gotten to the point that it doesn't matter how it affects another human being. Their pride is saying, I don't want to be wrong. Mm-hmm. But again, in the context of if you honestly believe in the golden rule, how can you not see this behavior as wrong? Do you want to be treated that way? If you don't want to be treated that way, then you shouldn't ascribe to that treatment. That's
right.
The super simple thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Man, the closer I get to 50, is this going to be more of this? Because, God. Just somebody sponsor me for a trip to the Bahamas and don't make me come back.
Yeah, I think that's what we all need these days.
Can we just bring like something like the Bahamas here? Can we like make a fake beach and?
Well, I think there are a lot of storms that are trying.
I know, right? I'm sorry for laughing, but this summer, and that's the thing. As soon as we get done talking about one has formed and is hit, and by the way, 200 miles away, here's another one forming. Yeah. I'm just like, we're gonna get to Q.
Well, yeah, I have friends down in Florida they got another one coming right in on that one, that Irma.
Wow. And the thing is, like, in a much more microscopic aspect, but even though we learned so much from Katrina and Rita, there's still so much to learn. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, I was listening to NPR on purpose because that's what I do. They were talking about the fire ants. Mm. And everybody knows that fire ants are a thing, right?
Right.
Leslie, in her very limited wisdom, never thought about the fact that fire ants are not heavy enough to break the surface tension of water. They can walk on water. So you will have colonies of fire ants. I'm just kind of like, talk about the seven plagues.
I saw some pictures of them, just big bundles of fire ants piled on each other. Yeah.
Can you imagine, like,
being set upon by...
And then the gators come.
And the gators, the gators getting loose.
But did you see the story about the alligator farm in Bay City?
Yeah.
And the dude was like, well, you're going to get out. You didn't have a contingency for this, dude? Yeah. It's not like you're in New York. By the way, didn't New York get hit by one a couple of years ago? I mean, it's not like... He's like, yep, so we're going to get out. Just like.
Yeah, when I was reading that story, one of the things, because we discussed this story last week, is that it was called a certified high fence. It's like, well, somebody should have certified it.
That's because somebody was certified high when they certified it as high.
Yeah.
Hey, what's this fence for? Oh, I'm going to breed gators. Oh, that's awesome. No.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it, a sanctuary, or was it just like a... Because I was
got the idea that it was
out.
kind of like I got the idea that it was like an attraction. That it was.
I guess when you put them all together like that, you kind of.
Is it me, or does it just sound very archery? Archer, the show.
Oh, I've never watched it. So
oh my gosh, the Archer is. There's so many shows now that are cartoons, but like when I laugh at them, I'm just like, I just should go to church. I'm going to need to do something to undo that. And then there's part of me that's just like, I've been having a lot of questions about religion lately, too.
I've had those for a long time. Yeah. In fact, before I stopped going to church, the last thing I said to my pastor is I've struggled with my faith my entire life, and I never went back.
Struggle over.
Yep, I'm done. Finish the struggle.
That's like a whole nother show. I want to not like get everybody with 7 minutes left. I want to not have everybody thinking, oh, so Leslie's going to be at such and such place. Go see her. But you know what? If there's a person that you want to listen to who's a comic who talks about some really heavy stuff, Stuart Huff, look him up. If you've never seen him, you've seen Stuart, haven't you?
I have.
Oh my God, I love him so hard.
I don't know if I've seen him, but I do know the name.
Dude, you got to listen to him. You got to listen to him. He does some amazing things with some of the very things that we've talked about today, and he's just a genius. And I'm very, very, very frustrated that a lot of mainstream audiences think he's too somber, because it's not a thing about somber. He's just super intelligent. And I don't mean that as an insult to people, but let's be real. Not everybody gets grammar Nazi jokes. So, you know, and I'm not saying he does grammar Nazi jokes, but I'm just saying he does some amazing things with some really thought-provoking topics. And I just really wish more people would listen to him, because he is speaking some really... It'll make you think about yourself. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, I understand that people go to comedy shows to be entertained.
About myself. It's my favorite.
I know. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm
thinking about
I'm
me?
really... Yeah. Oh, thinking about... Well, Don, if truth be told...
I knew it.
Everybody's going, is she going to say she has a crush on him? Say it, say it, say it.
It's the voice.
Do you know how long it's been since I've posted pictures of my beard album? It's almost like not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Not that I stopped at like 700 and something. Because, you know, that's such a pitiful number of people. But yeah, honestly, when I was with Jacob, I really stopped taking pictures. I've taken a couple since then, but I haven't posted them. So I guess maybe I just need to do that again. And, you know, so at least people think that... Well, everybody has one now. Shoot, I'm growing one.
That's true.
Dude, I almost slipped.
Oh, man.
I said ooh, though. I said ooh and not eh, so it doesn't count.
That's all right.
I don't have to put one in the swear jar.
No,
That's what you need, is a swear jar for days like this.
There
to help pay the fines.
Yeah, that'd be a big swear jar.
A drop in the bucket. Right.
Well, do you have any shows coming up?
Actually,
we got to start wrapping up.
Well, the easiest way to find out, plug, is my website, lesliebattlecomedy.com. I have a shows page, and usually I update that when I'm not procrastinating about things like today. But my next show that I'll talk about is actually tomorrow night up in Put-in-Bay at Catawba Brewing Company. I say that with a question mark because I'm not looking at it right now. But like I said, the easiest way to check out where I'm going to be is my website, my shows page. And there's a couple of pictures of me trying to look cute on my webpage. So, you know, if nothing else, you know, you see me trying to look
very
cute.
Well.
Oh,
just
thank
to
you.
say.
Thanks. Yeah, my brother just had his 52nd birthday, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm right behind him. Every time he has a birthday, I'm like stressing about. My birthday is like a month earlier, and I was really in my feelings this year because I turned 47, and I'm just like, dude, I am 3 years from 50. And then I'm just like looking at these pictures of these celebrities who are 60 who are still kicking, and I'm just like, what am I worried about? I'm absolutely going to hit the gym sometime in the next 5 years. I'll be fine.
You're good. Do you publish any of your poetry? Just out of curiosity, not the erotic stuff.
I have not. I belong to a couple of secret groups on Facebook that I share things with. But part of me sharing that poem was I would like to do more, and I'm saying this publicly. I am a writer who has been hiding her gift. So I'm kind of challenging myself to get out of that comfort zone because I'm really comfortable with standing in front of strangers and confessing my inner demons. So it's time to move on to another paradigm.
There you go.
So, but thank you very much for letting me share that. I'm glad that you weren't disappointed because that really would have been kind of
that's
never gonna right. He's just like, yeah. So, and I'm really thankful to everybody who understood that it was a poem, even though it didn't rhyme, because there's a lot of people who.
Yeah. Well, this is a college. Most of them here can figure
not to be bougie about it, but yeah.
Now, there's some it didn't rhyme.
That's not really a poem.
Sound nothing like Dr. Seuss. All right. Well, Leslie, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Don.
I
had a good time.
LeslieBattle.com.
LeslieBattleComedy.com.
Leslie,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Too easy.
All
Thanks. Have a good day, everybody.
We'll see you guys next week. That's all we have. Get out and see some comedy, or read some poetry, or get angry about something. That's what this world's all about.
Amen.
All right. We'll see you next week. This has been The Life on 106.9. I want to thank my guests for coming on the show, and I want to give a shout-out to Potter's Field for providing the music. Be sure to check out their EP, A Brutal Presence, on Amazon. Also, check out The Life podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, and iTunes. You can contact the show by emailing thelife1069@gmail.com or visiting donsmithcomedy.com. And I want to thank you all for listening.